All right, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to show you 7 latest updates with ChatGPT and how you can actually apply them into your business. So let's go. So the first one is going to be when you just hover over here, we're in ChatGPT 5.1. They continue to upgrade their software. It seems like weekly at this point. And I've been using Gemini, I've been using ChatGPT, I've been using Claude. Mostly those are my 3 main tools that I use for content production, content quality, writing emails, writing sales page, all those things. But I've noticed that I've been using ChatGPT a lot more for a lot of different things. And recently, Claude has been down often when I go to it, and I found myself just going over to ChatGPT and just being really pleased with the answers that it provides in a very fast way. When you come over here and you hover over ChatGPT 5.1, you're going to see that there's an auto. Now, it's going to default to auto for most people, and that's going to be it's going to basically decide between instant and thinking mode. So the instant mode is going to be answers right away, probably going to be great for like writing emails, maybe YouTube titles, brainstorming blog ideas. And if you're trying to do some quick SEO or keyword research, you might want to use the thinking mode for bigger tasks, like actually writing your in-depth blog post or your in-depth YouTube script, designing your course outlines. If you're going to plan a marketing funnel using the thinking and spending the couple minutes that it'll take, it's going to create a lot better like a sales funnel for you. Or if you're debugging code or creating code, maybe thinking will be better for that. So a lot of times when I'm just asking simple questions, I'll use auto. So just for example, I'm just going to put in here, write a concise email to my subscribers about my latest course. And we're going to push go right here. And you can see it's super fast, like we're right in front of you just immediately. And another thing that I really like about ChatGPT that I think it does better than like Claude, I haven't tested too much lately. I'm going to be getting into Gemini 3.0 and spending more time in there as well. I have paid plans to all of these tools. ChatGPT, I pay $20 a month for. Claude AI, I've paid $20 a month for, and Gemini, I paid $20 a month for. So I'm going to be making more tutorials on these, keeping you guys updated on the latest, greatest updates and ways to use these softwares. What I can say about ChatGPT is that it does have a memory function. When you come down over here, you'll be able to go into either personalization or settings. So you can select your name, go into the settings button under personalization, and you'll scroll down and you'll see that there's memory. And I've got all this turned on. What I really wanted to mention was that I've noticed that the memory for ChatGPT is it's so nice to be able to come in here and not have to explain my entire business model or life or anything like that to ChatGPT. It already knows. It has a massive memory and library of all the chats that I've had with it. I'm able to jump in and it's like a giant project. In Claude, for example, I create a bunch of projects to do certain things. I'm not able to copy and paste a bunch of the data over when I want to create another project. ChatGPT has essentially just become like this giant project. It has memory of all your chats, and all I have to do is it already knows because I've already used it. I've already talked to it about my vibe coding methods, and look, it already pulled in LTD Compass, it pulled in $1,000 in sales right there, and it created this really nice email. So it was able to do that with just the instant mode, which is super cool, right? So now let's say we want to go into a new chat, for example, and then maybe I want to stay in instant and I want to say, hey, can you give me 3 blog titles for my LearnWire website? And then we'll just go like that. And instant mode is going to get going. It already knows my website. It knows LearnWire Pro. It's actually kind of interesting. ChatGPT over the last 2 years, it hasn't been my favorite tool, but it's quickly becoming my go-to tool because they're getting better every day. And so we have the best AI tools of 2025, what every content creator should be going for, but it's the end of 2025, so I might want to change the title, maybe 2026. Vibe coding method, how I built a profitable SaaS without writing any code. AppSumo deals, boom. Let's just go with this. That might be kind of cool. So let's go with this title here, right? Now what you can do is while we're in the same chat, you can change it. We're going to go into thinking mode. And now we're going to say, map out an outline for this one, right? And we're going to put that one in there and push enter. And now we're in thinking mode, and it's going to go through a progression of different things. Nice choice. That title is fire for your brand. Here's a full SEO friendly title. Now in thinking mode, depending on what you're asking, it might take 30 seconds. If we told it to go out there and find 50 websites that we could get backlinks from, it's going to take a lot longer because you're instructing it to do a bunch of live research on the web. But in this case, it's already so preloaded with knowledge and preloaded with my website that it doesn't have to think much. And we have this nice outline here. So you've got this outline. It's going to continue to finish up this outline. And then what you can do is we could go and just grab this part right here, just copy that, place that in right here and push enter. And now it's going to go out there and actually write our article for us. Now let's see what it actually does for us, because we didn't instruct it to create a 3,000 word blog post or a 2,000 word blog post. We didn't give it any instructions. I mean, there's so much more we could do with this, but this is just the surface level of saying, hey, write an article about my vibe coding method. And that's it. We didn't give it any other instructions or angle, and it's already taking it and running with it. So here's the article. It's continuing to write. Step 2, choosing the right no code stack. Keep going through right over here. Ideally, I would plug in my sales page before writing the article. I believe it already has my sales page. You would feed it as much information as you can and then say to go write. And you probably would want to be specific on how long you want the article to be, but you can see it's going to town writing about this. So that's the number one thing that is really game changing, being able to switch between the modes. If you're a paid user, you can actually go back to legacy mode, and some people like GPT-4 and 4.1 for certain tasks. You can actually select those as well. Or if you want to spend less or you're creating a bunch of content, you can go to O3 or O4 mini. But yeah, there's maybe some tasks that GPT-4 and 4.1 or 4.0 might be a little bit better at. But generally speaking, I think that ChatGPT 5 has just been like a massive upgrade, like 3 times better than ChatGPT 4.0, at least for business and YouTube content creation purposes. I have heard that there's some things that it actually kind of backtracked on and it's not as good at, but overall it's been working really well for me. So I like the dial and being able to control, super cool. The next thing is better instruction, following and formatting compliance. And so we'll go and test this out. So let's come over here and say that the article is done. Let's go back up over here and I'm going to switch back. I'm just going to switch to auto. And what I'm going to say, write the article, make it 2,000 words. Here is my sales page. So you have the latest info on my course. I'm going to go in here, grab my sales page, come back over here, paste that in and say go. And then it's going to go and start. It's going to create that 2,000 word blog post. And you can see how fast it is. When we switch to auto, it can, especially since we're providing a link and it already has all that pre-knowledge, putting it on auto is actually using instant, in my opinion, because how fast that's writing, it's using instant mode to do this. So we're going to come through here. It should be done by now. Okay, perfect. So let's go over here and I'm going to just copy this article. So I'm going to copy that. Let's go and test this out. I'm going to go with a word counter and we're going to paste that in right there. So it's 2,406 words. That's pretty darn close. It's not exactly 2,000. Let's actually go and try something else out. Let's do a test real quick. Just for fun, I want to go into legacy mode and GPT-4, which was the most popular version before. Write the article, 2,000 words, please. Okay, so we're going to rewrite it. We're going to use ChatGPT 4.0 to write it. Now, it might perform better too because it already has all that pre-knowledge above, but I just want to test this out. Okay, so I'm going to copy that information. So we have 2,400 words right there. And we're going to plug that in right here. So, okay, there you go. That's the difference, the massive difference between using ChatGPT 4 and then using ChatGPT 5.1 is that it was only able to write 1,500 words in ChatGPT 4. In ChatGPT 5, it was able to write an entire 900 words more. I would rather have 400 more words than I asked for than 500 words less. So you be the judge. GPT 5 is more than capable of writing over 2,000 words. It was within a range, right? This one was technically within 480 words. But again, if I wanted a 2,000 word article, I would be a little unhappy with just 1,500 words. If I asked for a 2,000 word article and I got a 2,400 word article, I probably would be a lot happier. If you guys want me to do more tests like this and then actually test the reading scores, the quality and all that, in fact, I'll probably do an entire dedicated video for that. The fourth upgrade for ChatGPT 5 is faster responses with lower token overheads. You already saw the faster responses, like lightning fast. It's optimized to use fewer tokens for simpler tasks and deliver faster responses, which means lower cost for API usage and quicker turnaround. So a use case for this one, faster response and token overhead, right? When you're generating many pieces of content like multiple YouTube titles, social media captions, short blog posts, email sequences, this means you can iterate faster and cheaper, very beneficial when doing volume-based content like printables, coloring pages, social media. Notice how right here, I have a summary inside of ChatGPT on my other monitor. It's referring to some of my other businesses that I have, coloring pages, social marketing, printables. It knows all these different ways that I make money online, and it's going to apply when I ask questions. It's also going to apply to my business. So that's really cool. The fifth upgrade you need to know about with 5.0 is 5.1, improved long-form context and multi-turn conversation flow. ChatGPT 5.1 handles multi-turn chats and longer contexts more smoothly, making follow-up requests or refinements more consistent throughout a long conversation. We just witnessed this in our chat. We were able to write the article 3 times. We were able to start up here just basically an instant. It gave us some blog titles. Then we were able to switch over to thinking mode and we wrote an outline here. And then we were able to write our first article using auto. And then we were able to switch back. This chat combined with the memory it already has about my business and everything. And then we provided it a link to my sales page. It's just getting smarter and smarter. And we're having less problems with the chat. We can continue using this chat for a very long time. It seems like the chat window is larger and it's able to reference back. Just think about where AI was a few years ago, or even when Jasper came out like 3 or 4 years ago. Like it was only able to reference just a certain amount of words, and then it was not able to come back and reference way up here. Well, ChatGPT 5.1 is really lightning fast, able to reference thousands of words of content right here, and then to continue with full context. This is perfect for multi-step workflows. You can begin asking for a YouTube channel, content calendar, then ask follow-up questions about thumbnails, then ask again to write descriptions. ChatGPT 5.1 will manage the context better than older versions. So the sixth thing, we're almost done, guys, 2 more. So the sixth one is better performance for coding, agentic workflows, patching shell commands, tool calling. ChatGPT 5.1 introduces tools for developers, apply_patch, a tool to reliably edit code bases, and shell tool to run shell commands. How it would apply to my business would be, since I have websites like LearnWirePro.com and manage multiple digital assets, this update lets you safely use ChatGPT 5.1 to help with backend fixes, plugin tweaks, automation scripts, or even boilerplate generation, saving developer time. Number 7, more human-like and natural conversation style, smoother UX and collaboration feel. By default, ChatGPT 5.1 has a warmer, friendlier, smoother conversation tone compared to other models. Another really cool thing you can do is I'll show you down here is you can come over here and you can go to personalization and you can actually go to base tone. So if you want to like talk to ChatGPT in general and you want it to stay really professional and precise, then you would select professional. If you wanted to go with friendly, you always want it to be warm and chatty, then you can go with friendly, candid, direct and encouraging, quirky, playful and imaginative, efficient, concise and plain, nerdy, exploratory and enthusiastic, and cynical and sarcastic. So it's actually really cool. I think that you want to be careful with, and I want to do some more testing out as far as if you have one of these selected, that's going to set the style and tone of how ChatGPT responds to you, but this doesn't impact ChatGPT's capabilities. If you're writing blog posts and you have it on quirky or chatty, then you may not want that. That's something else I would want to test, is to leave it on default, go into one of my GPTs and then test out like if it is it able to write like me, write like LearnWire, but then come back and change this to something really crazy, cynical, quirky, candid, efficient, friendly, or something like that. Write the same, see what the text comes out and grade it and see if it, how much it actually impacts, even though you're specifically giving it instructions to speak a certain way. I need to find out which one trumps the other, this personalization right here, but I'm going to just leave it at default for now. Super cool right there that you can do that as well, that they've added more human-like and conversation tones, even within writing blog articles, YouTube scripts, and emails. It sounds a lot more personable, using first person, like taking ownership over the content that ChatGPT is writing, especially since it has the knowledge base. Really cool stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, it's like a recap of some of the latest, greatest things for ChatGPT 5.1. Just hit that like button. And if you want more videos on AI tutorials and how I use them in my business and potential workflows and so forth, then just subscribe. I'm going to do more videos like this. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.